Thailand, in a fresh bout of political turmoil, is set to choose a new prime minister after court removed Srettha Thavisin over an ethics violation that breached the constitution. Mr. Srettha says he is saddened by the ruling and is confident of his honesty.
ก็ยืนยันนะครับว่าตลอดระยะเวลาปีหนึ่งหรือเกือบปีหนึ่งที่ดำรงตำแหน่งมาก็พยายามทำทุกอย่างให้ถูกต้องนะครับมีความตั้งใจจริงในการทำงานยึดมั่นโดยในอุดมการณ์ของการทำงานด้วยความซื่อสัตย์สุจริตรับฟังความคิดเห็นของทุกๆฝ่ายแล้วก็ไม่ได้ยืนยันว่าไม่ได้เป็นทำตัวเป็นที่ขัดแย้งของทุกๆคนนะครับก็ยืนยันอีกทีครับก็เคารพการตัดสินของศาลรัฐธรรมนูญครับ
The Constitutional Court found Mr. Srettha guilty over his nomination of a cabinet minister with a criminal record. Thai law prohibits those with a criminal conviction from holding a public position. The former PM insists that he abided by the law and conducted protocol vetting. Mr. Srettha, who was in office for less than a year, is the fourth Thai premier in 16 years to be removed in verdicts by the very same court. And for more, CNA's Saksith joins us live from Bangkok. Saksith, the government will want to be filling the leadership void as quickly as it can. How would it go about making sure it does that?
Yes, indeed. After Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin has been dismissed by the Constitutional Court, the second major political court verdict in just as many weeks, we will get to that a little bit later. We have a vacuum that needs to be filled very quickly. According to the law, there will be a caretaker cabinet taking over business, picking a caretaker prime minister. But of course, we need an actual prime minister as soon as possible. This is where Parliament comes in. The whips of the government coalition and the opposition will meet tomorrow, that is Thursday, to talk about a date for a parliament vote on the next prime minister. Friday, that's August 16th, that is the earliest possible date that could be the vote for the next prime minister. And there is a list of candidates that is basically based on the list of prime minister candidates from last year's election without Prime Minister Srettha, but also without Move Forward Party leader Peter Limjaroenrat after his bid failed last year and also after the opposition party has been dissolved last week. So who's left? The Pheu Party, for example, the ruling Pheu Party, have Paetongtarn Shinawatra left on the ballot. She's the daughter of former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, but also there are other parties that are part of the coalition that are vying, that are angling to maybe take the top spot, and that's going to be very crucial, a very crucial 24 hours to see whether or not they can actually agree on a joint candidate or whether or not we will actually have a face-off on Friday about who is going to be Thailand's 31st Prime Minister.
All right, Saksith, you mentioned this is the second major court verdict. The earlier one last week concerned the opposition Move Forward Party that was forced to disband. Is this a sign of greater instability to come in the next few days, certainly in the next few weeks?
It certainly doesn't look good. It certainly doesn't look stable, what we have in Thailand right now. It's almost a year since we had an election and since we have this government, since we have this prime minister in office who's been chased out just before he completed his 1 year. And, you know, this is just the latest episode of decades of Thai political instability and polarization that we have for the past 2 decades, with former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, as I just mentioned, being at the center of it. He, as you may remember, he returned from self-exile last year, coinciding with the day when Srettha was voted Prime Minister, and this, and also going into a coalition with the former enemies, with the former rivals of Thaksin Shinawatra. And of course, there are a lot of observers thinking that they have been trying to maintain an uneasy alliance and that the removal of the Prime Minister from the Pheu Party signals the lines being redrawn here, but where the lines are going to fall, we do not know yet. What we can say for certain is, as I mentioned before, it doesn't look stable, it doesn't look good. And the fact that politics is not being decided at the polls, in Parliament or in Government House, but by the courts again, with 2 major decisions in 2 weeks, that doesn't bode well either. Earlier today, I said that many observers say that this is a political earthquake. The phrase political accident is also being used a lot here in Thailand as well. But it looks like more that this is a man-made disaster based on decisions of people that cannot be held accountable by the ballot.
Well, thanks, Saksith Sayasombut, speaking to us there from Bangkok, and we will get a close look at the roots of this instability that Saksith is talking about with a political scientist in just a few minutes on this bulletin.